I'm Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and I believe with all my heart that reconciliation is the call on every human being. We all know we live in a world that is divided, conflicted, and hurting. And though many of us long for our faith to make a difference, it can be very hard to know where to start. Welcome to this video on the first of the habits, being curious. And as we've said before, being curious is essentially about turning away from oneself and really engaging with someone else, finding out about them, knowing about them, reaching out to them. It's seeking not just to understand, but to walk in their shoes, to know their feelings. There's a wonderful story in Luke's Gospel. Luke is the Gospel about those who are excluded. And towards the end of the Gospel, Jesus is going through the city of Jericho. And there's a little bloke there, and he is a little bloke, called Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus was small and hated. He was hated because he worked for the occupying forces, the Romans, in collecting taxes, and he mixed with all kinds of people who in ritual and religious terms were unclean, and he did all kinds of things that people hated. And part of collecting taxes was you collected as much as you could and handed over as little as you must to the authorities, and you kept the balance. So, he was wealthy as well, and with unjust gain. So there's Zacchaeus. Jesus comes into town. Zacchaeus is in a state because he wants to see Jesus. He's going along behind the crowd, trying to stand on tiptoe. And so in the end, he says to himself, right, and he climbs up a sycamore tree. And Jesus suddenly looks up and sees Zacchaeus and says, Zacchaeus, come down, I'm going to have supper at your house tonight. Whoa. Zacchaeus comes down. What has Jesus done? He's reached out in the middle of a crowd where he is the center of attention. He's not been his own center of attention. He's been listening to God and he's been looking outwards, and he sees Zacchaeus and he is curious about him. He sees whether he'll come down, whether he'll engage with him, whether he can reach out and bring reconciliation to this man who's isolated from his community, isolated from himself. Are you someone who is curious? So, how do we make curiosity a habit? Well, first thing is pray. Pray for other people. Because the more you pray for them, the more you want to know about them. The more you love them, the more you care about them. Pray for them. Pray particularly for those you dislike. And as in the Psalms, pray with real passion about that. Lord, you know I can't stand so-and-so, or that group of people, they really wind me up. But even if I'm saying this through gritty teeth, and even if you know I'm, in my heart of hearts, I'm not really there, Lord, I'm going to say, bless them. Well, God knows all your motivation, but you've made the effort. Pray. That instills curiosity. It's a very strange thing. So you begin to think, I wonder what they're really like, what it's really about. And put yourself to one side. When you're going into a meeting, set yourself aside and say, this isn't about me. Oh, I wish I was better at that, I have to say, but this isn't about me, it's about them. Imagine yourself walking in with Jesus. What would be the real importance of that? Third thing is review. Learn to be aware of when it's become too me-focused, I-focused. I spend quite a lot of time kicking myself. Don't over-review. Don't spend your time beating yourself up, but just learn. As you learn and practice, habits come.